Welcome to the regular meeting of the Clay Township Board. This is Tuesday, June 26th. The time is 6 p.m. I'm glad to see you all here. It's an exciting evening. When we pass out checks, we're glad to do it too. We're in the community room at the John Hensel Government Center. I'm calling the meeting to order, and I ask you to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business is public comments. I know many of you are going to talk about what your needs are for next year and be presented checks, but if you have anything else to say before we're on our way here, we'd welcome your comments. Seeing none, we'll continue. I now open the public hearing on the additional appropriations from the Rainy Day Fund 0061 and Special 2002 COIT Fund number 0254. We'll come back to the approval of minutes. Is there anything anyone would like to say? All right, hearing no comments, we close the public hearing, and we'll go on to discuss that. Before we get into all of the action items, I want to tell you that action item H is going to be tabled. That's the resolution approving the third amendment to the interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of Carmel and Clay Township. And there will be a meeting, either a special meeting or the next board meeting, that it will be discussed. There's some things that have come up we need to look at, and rather than rush a decision, we want to be careful in what we do.
I so move we table this until our next meeting or a scheduled special meeting for action item H.
And I second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's been approved that we will table it until the next meeting. Resolution approving the appropriation from the Rainy Day Fund. Doug?
The first resolution, we're going to do these separate, but you read them separately?
Right.
Okay. The first one on the Rainy Day Fund is for $50,000 out of our Rainy Day Fund. At the time, this time it has $131,192 in there. And what I'm doing, I'm wanting to install fences around Farley Cemetery and Cavalry Cemetery. Farley, which is 106th and Keystone. We got a wrought iron fence that's going to be going up there on 3 sides of it, and the Cavalry Cemetery at 96th and Shelburne, we're going to put it. We need to put it on all 4 sides of that cemetery. A lot of people didn't realize there was a cemetery out there until we cleaned it up, and so I've talked to the neighbors over there at both of these cemeteries and discussed what we're. As a matter of fact, they had a lot of input as far as what kind of a fence we're going to put in there. It'd be a very nice fence. I actually had 3 quotes on this, and they range anywhere from $34,000 to $161,000. Of course, we took the lowest quote, and Hiddo Landscaping will be doing that. They should be starting on it soon, as long as you guys give me the money tonight, okay? So, and then the other part of the money of that $50,000 will be we're doing some painting on the exterior of this building and the fire station, and some HVAC work to the fire station. So that's the $50,000 from the Rainy Day Fund.
All right. We have a resolution to introduce that into action.
I so move we approve resolution for Rainy Day Fund for $50,000.
And I second that. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, let's call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's been approved. The next resolution is the additional appropriation from the Special 2002 COIT Fund. Doug?
In that fund, we have $15,138 that's remaining in that. I really want to close this account or this fund, and we had planned on doing it last year. However, we didn't get around to wrapping things up. And what we're doing is the Library and Military Museum, which is right next door to us. We're replacing it with new carpet. We're painting the interior of the building. We're also adding, they have a lot of neat war books, military books, that if you've never been inside of a military museum, even though it's pretty small, they have a lot of neat things, and these gentlemen really like to enjoy talking to the public. So if you have your school group or a church group or anybody that wants to go there, feel free to go over there. But anyway, we're adding new shelves. We're going to add them, actually attach them to the walls. The ones we have are kind of cheap, flimsy type, and I hate to see it fall over on somebody. So we're going to just add new shelving in there. And then the remaining part of the $15,000, we're going to update our AV equipment and sound system here in this room.
All right.
I so move we approve action item B, resolution from the 202 COLA fund for $15,138.
And I second that. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, can we have a vote, please? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's been passed. Resolution number 2012-0626-03, authorizing township investment policy. Doug, would you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, anytime we invest money, the township funds, we have to get the board's approval, and it's state law, and we get your approval. It's for 2 years only, and with the way, I know everybody's excited about their interest they're getting in their bank accounts. The township's in that group too. We have tried to come up with some new ways of getting better return on our funds, and so anytime we change that, we have to come to you guys for you to approve it. So this is just basically a resolution allowing us to invest into different funds that is approved by, actually, the State Board of Accounts approves that, so, or that are approved by the State Board of Accounts. So if you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer them, or our accountant is here. And our accountant has looked this over, made some changes. Our attorneys have looked at this, and they say it's fine. So basically, and we're not, usually it's a certificate, it's a deposit. We're not doing that. We're going through other investments. Okay, so share that with you, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Or
do either of you have anything to say about this resolution? And if you could go to the mic, please.
Angie Stino with Crow Horwath. Just to add, Doug and I met with representatives from Fifth Third who do we be working with on these investments. We did a lot of research, really felt comfortable that the investment tools they're going to use are in line with what's approved by the State Board of Accounts and statute. So I feel this is a good way for the township to get the additional interest on their short-term investments. So just for another piece of comfort, we did a lot of due diligence into it.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Do you have anything to add? All right, thank you. Would you like to make the resolution?
I so move we approve the resolution, action item C, authorizing township investment policy.
And I second that. Any discussion?
No.
And we certainly have discussed this before, so
Yeah.
I feel like we're coming in on the tail end of another discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Next item of business is a resolution number 2010-06-26-04, approving a nepotism in employment policy. Doug?
I'm going to turn this over to our attorney. The state legislature passed two nepotism laws here this past year, and they're to go into effect July 1st of this year. One is for just nepotism in employment. The other one's nepotism in contracting. So I will let the attorney cover it from there.
Tom DeRue with Kroger Gardis and Regas. As Doug mentioned, this past legislative session, the legislature passed HEA 1005 to essentially address the issues of nepotism in employment and contracting. You had, frankly, in certain townships, certainly not this one, but certain townships where the trustee would employ family members and that was an issue, or contracting with family members. So essentially what these resolutions do is provide that a direct line supervisor cannot be a relative of the person. Trustee can't hire a daughter to be the receptionist, for example. Similarly with contracting, that the trustee couldn't hire his brother-in-law, for example, to do the paving work out in the parking lot. They're both required to be in place by July 1st so that the DLGF will approve budgets without this resolution being in place. The Department of Local Government Finance will not approve budgets going forward. I would mention that in addition to passing the resolutions, there are annual reporting requirements that Doug will have to file, and that he will have to work with you on certifications that we have not violated either of these two resolutions or the statute, and will certainly help with that process when it's time.
Are all townships being required to do the same thing?
Every township, and in fact, not just townships, but it also applies to municipalities in a different way. But yes, this is an across-the-board policy for all local units of government. So it is far-reaching, yes.
All right. Would you introduce it, please?
Do you want them separately?
Shall we do them separately? They need to each be approved separately, do they not?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I so move we approve the nepotism and, action item D, nepotism employment.
And I second that. Do you have any further discussion? I don't either. Let's call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution number 2012-06-26-05, approving a nepotism in contracting policy.
I so move we approve that as well. Action item E.
Do we need any discussion from you on that at all?
No, they're essentially the same.
All right, then I second. Any conversation? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And the next one is a resolution 2010-06-26-06, approving sale of the Community Life and Learning Center. Doug?
As many of you know, we've owned this Community Life and Learning Center up on Main Street across from the high school for several years. Since I've been in office 5.5 years, we have tried to get one of the schools to buy it, as a matter of fact, and they've kind of blown us off. So we decided we'd start working with the Carmel Clay schools, and we've had a little bit of interest from Ivy Tech, but I was hoping is anybody here from Ivy Tech tonight? Yeah. They had some things they wanted to bring up, but anyway, we decided to go ahead and move on through with this with the Carmel Clay school system. Dr. Swenson's here tonight. I've asked him to be here for any questions from the board, and that's what this resolution is for, is basically to sell the Community Life and Learning Center to the Carmel Clay schools.
Would you like to introduce it?
I so move resolution to sell the Community Life and Learning Center to the Carmel Clay School District.
And I second it. Conversation?
This has been a topic of discussion since I've been on. Almost every meeting we've touched on it, and meetings I came to before. And as I've mentioned in other meetings, the importance of higher education in Carmel would be a disservice to lose. And you guys have had many conversations, and Dr. Swenson has pointed out after 3 o'clock, there's plenty of room for higher education, no 1 million square feet of school space. I think that Ivy Tech showed interest a little too late yesterday, not quite appropriate, and I personally don't see anything wrong with moving on, going ahead and quit cleaning this over to the school system.
I had a very interesting meeting with Dr. Swenson and Doug and our attorney, and we talked through a lot of concerns, some of them being in terms of the fact that there are community groups that use the building. We wanted to make sure that that would still be accessible to community groups if they could work out an arrangement during a time that was open. Also that we would have higher education, and we were really pleased to find out that these ideas were addressed very favorably. And I think that we've really come to a meeting on the minds for the building, and certainly it will be a great relief to the township to not continue in the building ownership of that particular building and possible other buildings in the future. So would you have anything to say to us on it, Dr. Swenson?
Thank you, members of the board, Mr. Callahan. Yes, we're absolutely delighted with this opportunity and see it as a continuation of the very good partnership between the township trustees and our school board. And as their representative here tonight, I would just reaffirm, we're very interested in building and expanding our connections with higher education, both for our students before 3 o'clock, but certainly for the community after 3 o'clock. So we feel this is a very good fit for our main mission. We also believe that it serves the taxpayers very well. We already have grass cutters and snow removers on our staff. We have custodians who literally now will just walk across the street should the resolution pass here, and then of course our board is poised to pass the resolution. So it's a very good arrangement, saves tax dollars all around, and serves both students and the broader community at the same time.
And you have the parking too, which parking is the biggest problem we have.
Right. Rumor has it, I have not counted all our parking spaces, but they seem to be sufficient.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, right. And you're working on a joint announcement between the township and the school?
Yes, we are. And again, with the timing on this was just such that the board this evening, should you act in favor of this resolution, we'll take that first step, and then by golly, our school board is ready at its next meeting, which comes up in less than 2 weeks, to do the same, act in kind, and then with the help of noble attorneys on both sides, the various and sundry arrangements will be finalized, I believe, Tom, by September.
August 31st.
August 31st, September 1st. Got it.
Any further conversation? We appreciate your...
We are very grateful for this collaboration. It's going to work out very well for one and all.
Great. Let's call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And there are no opposed, so... Hi there, you're a landlord.
And happy to be in that position. We will serve the community well, as you have done.
Item G is the Carmel Clay Public Library Board appointment. Doug?
The board has an appointment, the Clay Township Board has an appointment to the Carmel Clay Public Library Board. And at this time, I'm going to ask Wendy Phillips, the executive director for almost said Parks Board, the library board, or the library, come up and introduce this gentleman to us. Of course, the board has to approve that yet, Wendy. I have to say that.
Right, I understand. It's a board appointment. Thank you very much for this opportunity. As you know, you have one appointment to the Carmel Clay Public Library Board, and unfortunately, Tom Kapostasi was unable to complete his term. His work takes him to China, and it's kind of hard to be on the library board and be in China at the same time. So Tom has resigned, and so we would love to have you appoint Ranjit Puthran to complete Tom's term. That would be the way it would work at first. Before he would have his own 4-year term, it would be to complete a 4-year term. There are 2 years left in this particular term. So Ranjit has been long a supporter of the library. The first time I met him, he told me how excited his young child was to use the library, and he and his family use it a lot. As Mary mentioned, Ranjit is the immediate past president of the Carmel Rotary, and that's why I first met him, and he has served on our long-range planning for the board, for the library, and has just been a tremendous asset as a community member, and we think he would make a terrific asset to the library board itself.
Great. Do you have anything you'd like to say to us before we vote?
Sure.
Mr. Callahan, members of the board, I am very passionate about the library, as Wendy said, and very excited about this opportunity. You know, I was privileged to participate in the strategic planning for the Carmel Library, and that was a wonderful opportunity. I'm looking forward to contributing to the future of the success of the library. I bring the Carmel Rotary Board experience with me. I also have been in business for 17 years as an Allstate insurance agency, so I bring best practices from the insurance and business community. I am a team player. I'm looking at this opportunity to learn and looking to contribute to the success of the library, and also to be an ambassador to the library, and finally to serve as a stewardship to the library board. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm honored that you recommended me.
Thank you. Would you like to introduce the resolution?
I so move we appoint Ranjit Puthrat to the library board.
I
As-
second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Welcome. Thank you. I'm going back to the approval of minutes from the April 30th regular board meeting. Any additions or corrections?
None that I saw.
I didn't see any either. So could we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move we approve the minutes from our last board meeting.
All right, nice second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's been moved and seconded. Now we're back to you. Information items, the community grants.
Okay, let me give you some rules here first.
Don't all run at once.
Since we have several people here, and we got several new ones too, so what we're going to do, we have a sheet that we're going to start off with everybody that's got grants in the past, and so don't feel like you're being left out, because at the end, we're going to ask whoever has not been up to talk to bring you up. We allow it 2 to 3 minutes at the max. I'm going to have Debbie, my clerk, time you, because we could go on forever. And I'm sure some of you are like me. I don't talk very much. And if you would, if you don't, that's fine. If you have 4 copies, well, Paul's not here tonight, but 3 for the board and then 1 for me. That'd be great. If you only have 1, so be it. Make sure I get it so I can make copies for the board, okay? And everybody that's got a grant this year for 2012, just a reminder, June 30th, we need your mid-year report, okay? Other than that, it's open. You can, I think Chairman
we call
Eckert will
them?
start with the
Right.
first one.
Carmel Historical Society. And please announce who you are. Fred, I know you, but it's just the same meeting. We need to have it in the
Sure,
record.
Fred Swift, President of the Historical Society, and I apologize because Catherine Dill, our Executive Director, was planning to be here, and I can't imagine frankly where she is. If we could possibly
You want us to go back to, come back to you?
At the end, possibly. If she fails to show up at that time, I would just say that I know that we're seeking a grant of $17,500, I believe, for next year. She has the grant application forms in triplicate or quadruplicate with her, and I'm sure they'll be submitted to you shortly, either tonight or tomorrow when we find out where Catherine is. So I apologize, I don't have more of a presentation than that,
Fred,
but
in
I'm
case
sure you
she's
won't
not,
mind.
and if she isn't making it, can you tell us what it is that you'd like to do with the 17.5?
I can't enumerate, she has several,
Okay.
5, 6 items on
All right.
there, and I cannot recite them to you right now, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you very
Sure.
much. Next item, Carmel Dad's Club.
Good evening. My name is Josh Blackmore. I'm the facility superintendent for the Carmel Dads Club. We have Jack Berry, president of the Dads Club, present. However, he's feeling a little under the weather. I just wanted to start off tonight by thanking the Township Board and trustee for their continued financial support of the youth of Clay Township. it's with these grant monies that allow the club to reinvest in our current facilities and I think make us a much stronger community asset. This spring, we surpassed budget by almost 140 kids, totaling just shy of 5,000 youth athletes served. We are well on track to serve over 11,000 plus kids this year with our various sports tracks. So again, many thanks from the youth we serve and their families. I wanted to quickly summarize what we did with the funds from this year. Claiborne Fields has been online with the club for about 5 years. The location was a deed transfer donation from a local developer, which came to the club without a support building. Since we've been using the location, we've been serving our members' needs via portalettes and concession trailers. We've also promised the surrounding HOAs and our members that we would erect a permanent structure once funding became available. Through the generous donation of the township of $25,000, we were able to make this a reality this past winter. We began with a budget of $150,000, budgeted, developed by Kripe Architects. Although through timing of work, competitive bid, minor bill changes, and sponsor dollars, we were able to get that cost down to $133,000, which I think is pretty impressive. We used the 2012 grant monies to pay the remainder borrowed once received this past March. The building began normal operation this spring with our girls lacrosse program, and we received rave reviews and many thanks from both our members and the surrounding homeowners. Thank you again for the $25,000 this year. Leads me to our 2013 request. Since Jack Berry has taken the leadership of the organization, he's really focused our staff and our directors on improving the facilities we already have. Since he started with the organization, we've touched almost all 11 locations we manage and operate from. O'Malley Shirley baseball fields are part of the next step. O'Malley Shirley baseball fields are located on Mark Badger Memorial Park property. It serves our junior high and high school leagues, as well as Carmel High School JV and freshman teams for practice and games. The support structure was established in May of 1991 and hasn't seen a renovation since that time. In our opinion, the worst part of the building are the restrooms. They're the most seen and used by the public. The pictures in your packet really don't do them justice. You almost have to see them for yourself. They are neither ADA friendly. When we apply for grant monies towards we would like to apply grant monies towards the renovations of these restrooms. This will include adding a toilet, slight expansion for more room, as well as ensuring ADA compliance. We've really focused on anything we touch moving forward to become ADA compliant, as well as a little more elderly friendly. The other portion of this would be our Mark Badger soccer restrooms. Probably the highest number served in a given season is in the same situation, although not nearly as deteriorated as O'Malley. We are not able to expand this location, but we can renovate to improve usage and as well as get ADA compliant.
Josh, we had the bill go off, so can
Oh.
you kind of summarize?
Yeah, I'm
here?
sorry.
Otherwise, I'll have to get the hook, and I'm good at that. Turn the mic off.
I didn't even hear it. I apologize. So that's one. That was one portion. I'll skip ahead. The other is our Wodoc location. It serves split use baseball, football, baseball spring, football fall. The scoreboards there were installed in the late 1980s and are pretty much becoming a money pit for the organization. Last 2 years have proved we need to make some replacements here soon. We've received competitive bids. We've kind of averaged them out. For the bathroom renovation, it looks to be about $29,600. For the scoreboard, $20,000. Total project cost of just shy of $50,000. Therefore, our 2013 request is for $30,000 in the club and renovating both sets of public restrooms at Mark Badger Memorial Park, as well as replacing the 5 scoreboards at our Wodoc location. And again, thank you for the long-standing relationship with this board and trustee.
Any questions that you'd like to ask? I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Who else would be funding besides us?
The members, sponsors, and what we can come up with ourselves.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Did they get checks tonight? No, we've already given the checks. Oh, you've already got the checks. I was worrying about all of you. You should all be smiling, sitting out there right now.
Yeah, this is for 2013.
Yes, okay. Carmel Clay Schools, the 4-H.